Hello and good morning. How are you guys doing today?
Hi, how are you?
Well, thank you. How are you?
Fantastic. Excited to talk with you because I was part of the promotions team when you put this in theaters, the first two episodes, and my God, they went all out with the gigantic banners and the excitement inside that theater. So if people that have watched it on television and have not seen it on the big screen, they really missed out. And you guys did it right.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say that, it was great to see it on the big screen as we intended, but I think everyone wants to see their story on the biggest screen possible. So if you can't do it in a theater, at least you can do it on the biggest TV you have.
What I love about Shogun on Hulu as well as FX is the fact that you're taking the time to share this story. I'm not having to crush myself going, oh, I gotta have more, I just want to digest it.
Yeah. I guess you kind of need the time to digest it too. It's such a dense tale that James Clavell told. So once a week is a good number.
In writing this, did you envision it going straight to the screen?
Yeah, I think it has those story elements that that are undeniably watchable, right? And the visuals were very, very alluring to us in our minds, and a lot of that was done by the book.
Yeah,
it draws you in, and it's a propulsive read, but you have these visuals in your head that you can't get out of your mind, and thank God, because it sustained us for 5 long years of working on this.
and how you put it together on that screen in the way that it's set in the 1600s, right there at the dawn of a civil war in Japan. The research that went into this, and first of all, just what everybody is wearing is so authentic looking.
To say the least, yeah. I mean, so much detail. I'm sure that as we continue to do better by authenticity and the way we do costumes on our shows, I'm sure in 44 years they'll be able to poke holes in all the choices we made. But for what we know today about Japan in 1600, we're pretty proud of the authenticity that we were able to achieve.
And the storyline itself is so relatable because John Blackthorne is he's got something that can help out Lord Yoshii. And the thing is that so many times in watching this, I'm going, God, this could happen today. Maybe it is happening today, but it's set in 1600.
I wonder sometimes, because we always like to say that each of our participation in this project feels like a Blackthornian journey into this time and this place that none of us obviously has been to. And so we each had to learn our place in this story, and we had to learn how to tell this story. And it took a lot of time, and there were a lot of growing pains, just like Blackthorne. So we like to say it's our own little Blackthornian journey.
We live in this age where we get to have take our time as viewers to watch it. In other words, I don't have to wait till next week to see the next scene. I can sit there and I can binge watch it. The thing is, though, is that so many actors have told me recently that they love a 10-part series such as Shogun because it gives them the opportunity to be greater actors, to work with greater directors and writers.
That's an interesting way to think about it. I mean, I think certainly as writers, we think of it as so much of the television that we grew up on. The real advantage of television was that it wasn't just the episode that you're watching, it's the week's worth of conversations and anticipation and thinking about what you saw and thinking forward to what you're going to see that made it part of the journey. And so there's something really nice to having a 10-week experience. Certainly after the 5-year experience we had making the show, it's nice that it at least lasts in the audience memory for longer than 10 straight hours on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, and we wanted it to be an opportunity to kind of to be careful with something and to be considerate of something, because it required that of us to make it. We had to be very thoughtful about every element of the process. And so we figured that it would make sense to ask the same of audiences, to really dig in with us and to bring all of your care to it.
To me, one of the actors on the show is the land. It's where you guys are out filming these scenes, and it's like my God, I just want to watch one of these shows with a pair of those VR goggles, just so I could say, holy, look. I just want to be a part of those battles.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as long as the VR goggles don't have aren't able to simulate temperature or moisture. It was cold and very wet where we were filming in British Columbia. It was definitely an adventure for the crew as well. I mean, we just went to these very far off regions, yes. And I always say, like, I want movies and television that actually bring me there. Like what we grew up on, like, when you saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, you were in those places, for real, and not just looking at something on a composite screen, with the behind the characters. But man, it sometimes at 4 a.m. as it's snowing and there's horses walking by with, prop arrows sticking out of them in 3 feet of mud, you were like, yeah, I wish we could just maybe be on some soundstage somewhere. That might be nice.
Don't you think that part of the authenticity of Shogun on Hulu and FX is the fact that there are subtitles? Because when I first got the first part of it, it was like, yes, because this way I become a part of their culture rather than, oh, everything's been Americanized.
I mean, we can't emphasize enough how much we appreciate that sentiment, because there's no other way to tell this story. Language is the way into a culture, into a person, and there's no way to glimpse at something that's not your own experience without doing so through that specific language. And so it was of utmost importance to us to put everything that we had into making sure that the subtitles were right. They were, again, measured. Every bit of punctuation was negotiated. I mean, it was truly, the last year and a half of our lives just trying to get the subtitling right. And thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I really want to emphasize too about the subtitles is we always said, if we're going to do this show subtitled, we're going to do it in a way that you've never seen before. Yep. The position of the subtitles, the scrutiny of the subtitles, the duration on screen and where they break and punctuate relative to the performance, even the font and the color was something that we closely, measured and weighed as we made the show. So I hope that audiences appreciate maybe something a little different than what they might expect.
Yeah, but Arrow, I think you said it right, that we got very lucky when it came to the timing, because I think audiences are ready for a show of this scope and scale as told in the Japanese. Yep. And not only Japanese, but period Japanese,
Yep. Yeah, wow. Please come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Well, you be brilliant today, you two.
Thank you.